It started with a single post. No warning, no confirmation. Just a few words that spread like wildfire across the internet. Diane Keaton dead at 79. Within minutes, fans were panicking. Comment sections exploded. Tribute videos appeared out of nowhere. Some people were crying. Others were confused. And many were asking the same terrifying question. How did this happen so suddenly? For a woman who had spent over 5 decades in the spotlight, surviving Hollywood, fame, heartbreak, and the brutal pressure of celebrity life. The idea that Diane Keaton was suddenly gone felt unreal, and yet millions believed it. Because in today's world, rumors move faster than truth, and once they take hold, they can feel terrifyingly real. But here's where the story gets even more shocking. There was no official announcement, no family statement, no hospital report, just silence. And that silence only made the rumor grow louder. To understand why so many people believed it, we need to go back. Way back. Back to who Diane Keaton really is. And why the world feels so emotionally connected to her. Diane Keaton wasn't just another Hollywood actress. She was different from the very beginning. Born Diane Hall, she arrived in Hollywood at a time when women were expected to fit into neat little boxes. Be glamorous. Be quiet. Be easy to control. Diane refused all of it. She dressed differently. She spoke differently. She moved differently. And instead of trying to be what Hollywood wanted, she forced Hollywood to adjust to her dot when she starred in The Godfather. She wasn't supposed to steal the spotlight. Yet she did. When she appeared in Annie Hall, she didn't just play a role. She changed fashion, culture, and how female characters were written forever. Her awkward charm, nervous energy, and emotional honesty made people feel like they weren't watching an actress. They were watching a real human being, and that's why this rumor hit so hard, because Diane Keaton never felt like a distant celebrity. She felt like someone you knew as the years passed. Diane made a choice that shocked Hollywood just as much as any viral rumor ever could. She stepped back. She slowed down. She avoided the constant spotlight. She didn't chase fame the way others did. And in an industry that thrives on constant visibility, her quietness became suspicious to some people. Fans started noticing fewer interviews, fewer red carpet appearances, fewer public photos. And slowly, whispers began. Is she okay? Has she retired? Why don't we see her anymore? In reality, Diane Keaton was doing what she had always done, living life on her own terms. She focused on directing, on photography, on architecture, on personal passions that had nothing to do with pleasing an audience. But the internet doesn't like silence, so when one random post claimed she had passed away at 79, it landed on already fertile ground. People didn't check. They reacted. And once grief enters the conversation, logic often leaves. Some accounts even began inventing details. Fake causes of death. Fake hospital stories. Fake final moments. The more dramatic the lie, the faster it spread, and that's the truly shocking truth behind this entire situation. Diane Keaton didn't die, but the internet nearly buried her anyway. This isn't the first time, eh? Hollywood legend has been killed by a rumor. Over the years, dozens of living celebrities have had to wake up and discover the world mourning them. It's surreal. It's cruel. And for older stars especially, happens far too often. Age becomes a weapon. Once a celebrity reaches a certain number, people stop asking if the news is real. They just assume it must be. Diane Keaton at 79 fit the narrative too perfectly. Legendary career, fewer public appearances, a quiet lifestyle. To the rumor machine, that was enough. But here's something many people don't know about Diane Keaton, despite her age. She has been incredibly open about taking care of herself. She has spoken honestly about health, about aging, about fear, and about choosing peace over pressure. She has talked about how Hollywood terrified her in her younger years, and how fame never made her feel safe, only exposed. She never married. She never followed the expected timeline. She adopted children later in life, choosing motherhood when most people thought it was too late. She never apologized for any of it. That independence made her iconic, but it also made her misunderstood. So when the rumor exploded, many fans realized something uncomfortable. They didn't actually know what was going on in her life, and that scared them. Within hours, fact-checkers stepped in. Verified sources confirmed she was alive. No death, no tragedy, no hidden illness. Just another internet storm, built on nothing. But the emotional damage had already been done. Some fans admitted they cried before checking the truth. Others shared fake tributes, believing they were honoring her legacy. And Diane Keaton herself, she said nothing. As always, she chose silence over spectacle. And maybe that silence is the most Diane Keaton thing of all. Because she has never lived her life explaining herself to the world. What makes this story even more powerful is what it reveals about us. About how quickly we panic, how easily we believe, how deeply we care about people we've never met. Diane Keaton represents something rare in Hollywood: authenticity. She never tried to be eternal youth. She never pretended to be fearless. She aged publicly, honestly, and without apology. And that makes people protective of her. So when the world thought it lost her, even for a moment, it felt personal. In the end, the rumor faded. Posts were deleted. Videos were taken down. And the internet moved on to the next shocking headline. But this moment left behind an important reminder: legends don't need constant noise to exist. Sometimes they're just living quietly, away from the chaos. While the world invents stories around them, Diane Keaton is still here, still iconic, still unapologetically herself. And maybe the real shocking truth isn't about death at all. Maybe it's about how easily we forget that behind every headline, every rumor, and every viral post, there's a real human being still breathing, still living, still choosing her own path. And that might be the most powerful ending of all.
What made this rumor even more believable was the timing. The internet has developed a strange habit when it comes to aging celebrities. The moment someone steps away from constant visibility, the narrative shifts. Absence is no longer seen as privacy. It's treated like a warning sign. And Diane Keaton had been absent in the way that makes people uncomfortable, quiet, unbothered, unexplaining. In a culture addicted to updates, silence feels suspicious, and Diane Keaton has always been fluent in silence. She never flooded social media with daily affirmations or behind-the-scenes moments. She never tried to remind the world she was still relevant. She didn't fight aging with desperation or sell the illusion of eternal youth. Instead, she did something radical: she accepted time. And that acceptance, oddly enough, made people uneasy. Because Hollywood teaches us that relevance must be loud. But Diane Keaton never played by Hollywood's rules. Even at the height of her fame, she was known for pulling away when things became too intense. She struggled with anxiety. She openly talked about fear, about not feeling strong, about being overwhelmed by attention. While other stars built empires around their image, she protected herself by stepping back. So when the rumor appeared, it didn't feel impossible. It felt convenient, a story the internet already wanted to believe. And once belief takes hold, facts become optional. What's terrifying is how fast the transformation happened. In just hours, Diane Keaton went from being a living, breathing woman to a memory in the minds of millions. Her career was suddenly spoken about in the past tense. Her legacy was framed as complete. Her life was edited down to a highlight reel, as if there was nothing left to be written. That's how quickly the internet can erase someone, not with hatred, not with anger, but with assumption. And there's something deeply unsettling about that. Because Diane Keaton represents an entire generation of artists who didn't chase visibility, they earned respect. And respect doesn't always trend. Silence doesn't go viral, but death does. That's why fake death rumors keep returning. They offer closure, they offer drama, they offer a clean ending. Real life doesn't. Real life is messy, quiet, ongoing, and Diane Keaton is still very much ongoing. She's still creating, still thinking, still living in homes she restores herself, still choosing projects carefully, not for relevance, but for meaning. She once said that getting older didn't make her fearless, it made her more honest. And honesty, in a world built on illusion, can feel uncomfortable. Maybe that's why people projected an ending onto her. Because endings are easier than accepting that someone can simply exist without performing. The irony is that Diane Keaton spent her entire career playing characters who felt unfinished, vulnerable, human. Characters who didn't wrap their emotions neatly. Characters who lingered with you long after the screen went dark. And that's exactly what happened here. The idea of losing her lingered, even though it wasn't real. For a brief moment, people imagined a world without Diane Keaton in it, and they didn't like how that felt. It reminded them of time passing, of their own aging, of the fact that icons are not immortal, but they are also not disposable. So when the truth finally surfaced, there was relief, but also embarrassment, and maybe even guilt. Guilt for believing without checking, guilt for mourning someone who was still alive, guilt for letting a rumor speak louder than reality. And yet the internet didn't apologize. It never does. It simply moved on. But Diane Keaton remained untouched by the noise. No angry response, no clarification video, no dramatic statement. Just the same quiet dignity she has always carried. That restraint says more than any headline ever could, because real legends don't chase correction. They don't fight rumors. They outlive them, and Diane Keaton has been doing that her entire life. So if there's a lesson buried inside this viral lie, it's this. Not every quiet moment is a tragedy. Not every absence is an ending, and not every rumor deserves your belief. Sometimes the most shocking truth is that nothing happened at all. Just a woman living her life, away from the spotlight, while the world, once again,